Good evening and welcome to Real Talk, where every Sunday night we offer insight, education, and resources to in-home caregivers and those affected in their world. These are the children, the parents, the extended family, and everyone who loves them. And our goal is to offer real life topics and learning through discussing real issues and offering real solutions. And tonight I'm very excited to welcome our guest, Brittany Hausman. Welcome, Brittany. It's great to have you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Brittany, and then we're going to dig into a fascinating topic tonight. And I will tell you ahead of time, we're digging into this because I got the opportunity to try this and was really impressed. And so I was like, we've got to talk about this. We've got to have you on. So Brittany is the director of brand development for Bessie's Best Lactation Cookies, where she is responsible for marketing, social media, sales, outreach, and growth. Her favorite part about working at Bessie's is having a whole team of moms working together who truly care about the breastfeeding journey. Brittany is the mom in a big blended family of 7 and is the epitome: if you want something done, give it to a busy person. I think most of us can definitely relate to that. In her occasional free time, she loves to sing, cook, and bake, as well as travel with her husband. She also does social media consulting on a project basis in her business, BU Marketing. And tonight we're going to really dig into this topic of lactation cookies, galactagogues, and all the products that Bessie's offers. Because as I said, I got to try them and I was impressed because I have tried lots of other products like this before. And most of the time it's like somebody put a pretty wrapper on cardboard. And that is not the case this time. So I'm excited to talk about this, about lactation products, about nursing, and all those good things. But Brittany, tell us first, how did you get from social media, tell us a little bit about that, into the world of lactation?
Yes, and actually, would it make you think I'm even crazier if I told you I actually started in health insurance and and then left to health insurance to start my business doing social media. So yeah, I've just been taking on a lot of different hats. What happened was I had my business, BU Marketing, doing social media, and I was working with some larger marketing companies. Bessie's ended up coming in actually to me directly, but needed a whole lot of, they wanted some extra help getting a new website, getting their social media off of the plates of actually our owner, Jen's sister was the one running it at the time. And she was ready to move on to another project or have lack of one. So we ended up working with them as a marketing team, and Jen and I, the owner, we just ended up really hitting it off. We always saw eye to eye on everything, and it really became clear that we were meant to be more than just working partners in this small capacity. And they asked me to come on as the director of brand development, and that was in February last year. So now I've been with Bessie's for about 1.5 years as their director of brand development, and have been able to really help us make big strides. The first steps for them were getting that new website up and running and really kind of captivating the audience with a little bit better and clearer messaging and branding. So I went from more focusing on that to how we can make strategic connections. We really focused a lot on how we can touch base with lactation partners, whether it's the lactation consultants, whether it's lactation counselors, hospital systems, and the people working within those capacities. So we're really trying to build that out. We've also worked really hard to build up our presence on Amazon. We've also recently branched out onto Walmart.com and are in talks with other partners for expansion in getting Bessie's word out there more and more. So those are the kind of things I've been able to do in my new capacity within Bessie's.
Fantastic. I love that. And we are going to talk a lot about this tonight. As I said, I met the team, some of the team at the Kappa conference, and saw the cookies, was like, yeah, but it wasn't until the last day. I was like, you know what? I'm going to just go try this out because I've been so disappointed by products in the end, and tried something we'll talk about kind of towards the end, which is a new product that you have. And I was like, dang, this is good. and went back and got samples of everything else, brought them home, and literally like 2 days later was sitting at my desk and was like, I only have 5 minutes to shove something down, and saw it sitting there and ate one of the cookies. And I was like, all right, we need to talk. We definitely need to talk. And it takes a lot to impress me with a product because I like good food. So it's got to really taste great. But I want to start in the beginning. Let's talk about how Bessie's got started and how we have Jen and Bessie and what, why there's the two different names. So let's tell us about this first. How did this get started?
Yeah, so Jen was actually a second-time mom in 2013, and with her first, not only did she not really have as much of the support system as she did the second time around, but she had struggled with her milk supply and sort of just like weaned off and kept moving forward with her first baby. And with her second baby, had the support system in place and was like determined to make a difference. She really wanted to breastfeed, and she was committed to it, but her milk supply was just not having those same thoughts and that same conversation, as I'm sure so many people can understand and relate to, I know myself included. So she had always been a baker. Her grandmother and her had spent so much time in the kitchen together when she was growing up. It meant so much for her to be a baker and to be in the kitchen. And it was also a way she was bonding with her young son. And she just was like, you know what? I'm seeing all these cookies. I've tried some of them. They're all awful. I could do something better than this. Let me try to figure something out. So she created her own recipe and created in the style of like a monster cookie. So it's like a nice, thick, hearty bar instead of like a small, thin cardboard texture sort of cookie like everybody is used to when you buy a lactation cookie. And she was in a breastfeeding group with other moms, and she immediately saw a supply change in herself. So she took a batch of them to this mom's group and said, oh my gosh, this helped me so much. I couldn't believe it. Like, if you want these, try them. I'll give you the recipe. It actually ended up that she had people beating down her door, not for the recipe, but for her to make the cookies for them, obviously. So she very quickly and very unexpectedly became a business, and Bessie's was born. They went from, making batches of literally hundreds of dozens of cookies in her and her family members' kitchens to needing a bakery site, to now, having a building where our bakery is a huge part of it. And we have lots of room for growth within the area that we're in right now. Just tremendous explosion of growth. And what actually ended up happening was, as we kind of all know in this social media day and age, Facebook was where everybody was learning about them, because they started a Facebook page. And Facebook especially in like the 2014, 2015 timeframe, 2016, 2017, 2018 even, really word of mouth, right? You can tag pages, you can send people there, and they just exploded. I mean, they were doing almost no other marketing, which is why they ended up bringing me on for that extra boost in marketing, because Facebook didn't have quite the reach anymore that it had for them. But really, Facebook was a big part of them being able to get the word out and get the growth out, where we have a lactation cookie, but it's not like other lactation cookies that you've tried. So that's kind of what's been the differentiator for us, is that we really have a real cookie. It's made with peanut butter, so it has a really nice texture, and there's actually no flour in it, which a lot of people are surprised to hear. It's sort of inherently gluten-free because there's no flour included. We just use oats and ground oats. And as you know, that is well known to be a galactagogue. You've probably had a lot of professionals that you've worked with who tell their clients, or you tell them, they tell their people to eat a bowl of oatmeal in the morning to help with their milk supply. So that has been a big part of it. And because it has the peanut butter, it's also high in protein. So it's really nice protein boost for moms in the morning, 5 grams of protein in just one cookie. And we typically recommend that people eat 2 to 3 to get their day started. It's a great kind of replacement for breakfast. And that's kind of where it went into this big cookie with this big following.
Right. No kidding. Well, I can testify that they are really good. And it takes a lot to impress me. So that was a really cool aspect of this. But what I really want to kind of jump into, and you've touched on it a little bit, but we're going to just jump on the elephant in the room right now. Let's talk about galactagogues,
Sure.
because we know there is history about things. We have lots of anecdotal stories. We also know, and I love that you guys acknowledge the fact that there's not a lot of clear, solid research yet. But let's talk about this. Let's just address that issue right out of the gate.
Sure. Yeah, so I mean it's not a topic that we're afraid of, and especially as the person who like creates our social media content and everything that we put out, I'm always really kind of fearless to say like this doesn't work for everybody. And it's not something that we unfortunately have a ton of research to be able to base that off of. You know, a lot of partners that we look for are like, we love your product and we know that like it does work, but we try to focus on things that are research based, and we understand that that's just not something that we necessarily have a lot of. So we're hoping that there's going to be a lot of the research that you find now. It's not very well done, and it's done with a lot of things in comparison versus just trying to look at actual galactagogues.
Mhm.
But galactagogues is not a term that we invented. It's something, you know, that's well known. You know, that for a long time we didn't have medicine, and food was really used as medicine. So whenever people would eat certain things and notice certain results out of them, that's how these sort of things are born, and that's how the term galactagogue, you know, eventually got coined. That people were eating certain things and finding that there was a boost in their supply. So yeah, we're hoping that there's going to be a lot more research. Maybe we'll be like nice and big enough someday that we can fund some research ourselves, because we get stories literally, I mean, practically every day from moms who say, oh my gosh, this was the difference. I went back to work, my supply plummeted. I was pumping instead of feeding at the breast, because we know, like, you know, that there's many things that can help you with your supply, one of which is feeding on demand with your child. And sometimes that is just not possible. A large portion of people who buy Bessie's products are working moms who are going back, and they're not able to do that part of what we would typically recommend to boost your supply. So, you know, we have moms reaching out to us saying, like, this saved me. I'm so glad. I'm so happy. The one recent Amazon review we got that made me laugh so hard was like, I keep trying to quit these, and I just see the dip every time that I do. And so, you know, I know that they have a real product and a long-term customer in me. And so, you know, you can't put that stuff aside. I'll even be honest and say that I didn't know about Bessie's when I was breastfeeding, but galactagogues did not work for me personally. Like that was not something that boosted my supply. But I have talked to so many people one-to-one, face-to-face, whether it was Bessie's products or just they found eating a bowl of cereal and drinking a body armor in the morning was a big change for them, you know, staying hydrated and eating those galactagogues. So I try not to discount the stories, even though we don't have as much research to support it right now.
Yeah, I love that you guys aren't afraid to talk about that. You know, obviously, as an education company, we have to focus on the things that we teach. We have to focus on evidence-based best practice, right? But the reality is, we all know that at some point, somebody started to research something to go get evidence because they saw something that was happening and they wanted to know more. And I'm a big believer that a lot of research started with anecdotal evidence and started with the, hey, we saw this. And, you know, hopefully there will be someday there'll be enough research that the two can be connected, because that's awesome. I'm not lactating, but I can definitely relate to the, hey, I don't want to stop eating them. Because when I saw this on my schedule today, I was like, oh, I could use one of those this morning. I've had them. I could use one, get my day going. But anyway, so let's talk a little bit. You mentioned it earlier. You said they're high in protein. They have oats in them. They're easy to grab and go. Is this something that is only, I mean, we've already kind of touched on it because I'm telling you that everybody that I eat them, but is this something that's designed only for a lactating parent, or is it safe for other people to eat also?
Yeah, so actually we get that question a lot, especially when I started working at Bessie's and telling people in my family what I do. They're like, wait, what are the cookies made with breast milk? I don't understand. Even just the concept of lactation cookies is so foreign to some people. But our cookies, that's one thing that we pride ourselves on too. So many people have come to us and told us two things. One, that they got a cookie that had some sort of supplement in it and it tasted like medicine and they were so grossed out they couldn't even eat it. And two, we have heard a lot of moms who have a lot of problems with fenugreek. Again, I will include myself in that because that was one of the things I tried, and I had all the negative effects of it instead of a boost in my milk supply. So we've heard so many stories like that it was really important to Jen that we not try to include something like that in the cookie itself. So it's just real foods. You have the oats, you have we have flaxseed in there. So that's another thing that's a galactagogue. And we also add brewer's yeast. I'm sure that you have heard in your trainings and what you do. Some women have drank a beer and then later when, the alcohol is out of their system, they're pumping and like, wow, holy cow, I have more milk supply. So brewer's yeast is what's left over after brewing occurs, and that is included in our cookies. It's really bitter by itself, but Jen created just the right way to incorporate it that you would never know it was even an ingredient. So yeah, those are all safe for any human to consume. It has chocolate chips in it, so probably don't feed it to your dog. But otherwise, it's safe for your kiddos. We actually have a lot of people who end up continuing ordering when they're done breastfeeding because their family just demands that every once in a while at least they have some Bessie's cookies around. So yeah, they're safe for absolutely everybody except for the dog.
Yeah, good. And I love that they're grab and go, so they're individually packaged, and so they can literally be in the cabinet just like a granola bar or something like that.
We do have our dozen boxes. When you order them on the website, they do come together, but we do also have an on the go pack. So we try to make that there's an option for both, that you can easily just grab a couple out of the cupboard or even out of the fridge. Some people like to keep them in there to keep them a little fresher, or they can throw a couple of the pre-packaged individual ones in their diaper bag, in their console, in their car, in their desk at work, and have them for any time that they need them as well. So we actually have both options.
Fantastic. I love that. So let's talk about some of your other products, because I got to sample a little bit of stuff at the Kappa conference. And so I want you to share with us a little bit about some of the other products that you have and kind of what they do, because they're not all just lactation cookies. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, so that was another thing that Jen was really big on. Obviously, as a company, you don't just want to sell one thing, you want to have some variety. So Jen wanted to come up with some snacks, some things that would actually be delicious and not just be a cookie. As of current, we offer all sweet products, even though they're not all cookies, but our newest item is a savory product. So I'll get to that. But one of the items that she added first was a lactation granola. So again, it has all of the oats in it, it has the flax seeds in it, and it has the brewer's yeast in it, just like our cookies do, but in a completely different format. We do have our 1 pound bags that are pre-made with other galactagogues, such as coconut, apricots, things like that. But we also have a made to order option. So you can actually get our granola customized with either 4 or 5 add-ins, and you can choose what you want. And don't worry, we all the time have people choose chocolate as all of their additional add-ons. I promise you, we don't even think twice about it. So the granola is a big one. People particularly love the made to order so that they can make their own. We also have seasonal pumpkin bread. So that just recently came back. That comes out October 1st. And usually we phase that out around the March time frame. It doesn't sit so well in the mail the rest of the time. So that's why we like to keep it seasonal. So that is available usually October to March. Again, has all of those things in it, the brewer's yeast, the flaxseed, and the oats, but it also has pumpkin, which is also a galactagogue. So that one we like to say does pack a little extra punch. It's really like spicy, like Christmas spicy, you know, or like Thanksgiving spicy, where you get the really yummy spice cake and pumpkin flavor from it. So that one is a really big hit when it's around as well. And then those are our lactation products, but we do also have something called a blockbuster, which we have found a lot of people think is really unique and is a better option for them than having to just take a pill if they're having clogged ducts or like threats of mastitis or battling mastitis. Our blockbusters have our cookies as well. They're not the same flavor as our regular cookie. They actually have a bit of a banana flavor in them. Those include soy lecithin. So that is to help to bust through those issues with the clogged ducts and the mastitis. And to be honest with you, some people tell us those are even their favorite cookies that we have. So it all depends on flavor. But that is another product that we currently sell. And then the new product that you got to try that we have only told anything about to either the people that were at the table at Kappa or our email list is a savory product. And it is what we call our Lactation Ranch pretzels. So if anybody is from, we're on the East Coast where pretty much every party you go to, somebody has made a batch of these ranch pretzels where it's basically like a thick coating of a ranch seasoning that's wrapped around a hunk of pretzel, a hard pretzel. And I've heard that it's also a big Midwesterners thing. So I know that our Midwestern moms are going to be really excited, but yeah, so this also has the brewer's yeast and the flax seeds in it. And then some of those savory galactagogues, which are garlic and dill that you would find in any sort of normal ranch product. So they're absolutely delicious. They're like ridiculously addictive and you kind of can't stop eating them. So we know that they're going to be a big hit as well. And those are going to be releasing on our website, hopefully by the end of the month.
Fantastic. So I can say I've tried your lactation cookie, I've tried the granola, and I have gotten to try the ranch pretzels. I loved all of them. And I absolutely agree. The pretzels were like, okay, would it be really tacky of me to go back to the table and get more? Because I wanted more. They were really good. And normally I like pretzels, but I don't love pretzels normally. And these were like, I just want to keep eating and keep eating and keep eating. And they are not, at least where I live, they're not a common party thing. So to me, it was also that uniqueness, which made it something different rather than always having the same old thing. So I love them.
Yeah, exactly. If you hear like for something to boost your lactation, I think everybody thinks lactation cookies. You either think I'm going to eat a lactation cookie or I'm going to take a pill or a supplement of vitamins, something along those lines. So we really like the idea of kind of disrupting that and giving moms other options. And the biggest one we really kept hearing was, can I have something that's not sweet? Not everybody loves sweet. So being able to have that additional option is going to be great. And it's going to be way too easy to eat. I promise everybody.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. I definitely can share that. So we've talked about a lot already today. We're almost out of time. Is there anything else, Brittany, that you'd love to share with our audience about Bessie's lactation cookies? Because as I said, I know I'm impressed. So is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience before we wrap up?
Sure. So, as of right now, we sell directly on our website. We do send priority mail off of our website, so it is pretty quick. However, and that is the cheapest place to get our items. But we do again sell on Amazon. We sell on Walmart.com. On Amazon in particular, you can get 2-day shipping. So we have heard a lot of moms who both order on our website and order a dozen from Amazon, so that if they are really freaking out about their supply, they can kind of have some stuff coming really quick, a little bit more expensive, and then some of the better price stuff off of our website in the pipeline. So that's just a little recommendation for anybody who either is lactating or any of your professionals who are listening who have clients. We do have both of those things that can work together. We like to do our packaging on from our website directly, a little more eco-friendly. You'll find your box coming with old newspaper stuffing in it. So we always like to say our owner, Jen, was really big on not having like really environmentally bad and really not good for your kids to get a hold of styrofoam peanuts that are in them. So we keep things pretty low key and eco-friendly. And a lot of people really like that about our boxes, that they can literally just throw all of it in the recycling when they're done. And they don't have to worry about the messy cleanup, but they also have cookies that show up intact for the most part. So, so find us any of those places. We are a company that truly cares about moms. We truly care about the social issues that surround moms. And we are always trying to help to make a difference. We have a certified lactation counselor on staff as well. So we love when moms reach out and have a couple questions, because we have a professional that can help answer those questions. And it's not always related to our products, and that's okay. We're okay with that too. So we just want to be that company that is there for you and really truly believes in what they're doing. And I can assure you that Bessie's is that company, and we have great tasting products. So
yeah. No, I love that. Well, thank you so much for joining us on Real Talk. It's been an honor to have you, to learn more about this with you, and for you to get to share about these products. And as I'm going to just keep raving. I love them, and I'm pretty sure everybody in our audience will too. So thanks for joining us. It's been great to have you.
Yeah, thank you so much again for having us and letting us talk about Bessie's a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And to our audience, thank you for joining us tonight. If you have any questions about Bessie's Best Lactation Cookies, put them in the feed and tag them, or tag Newborn Care Solutions. We'll make sure you get answers. And of course, if you want to rewatch this segment or catch any of our other episodes or our other educational content, hop over to newborncaresolutions.com and click on the education tab, or you can find all of our Real Talks on YouTube and now on podcasts. So thank you so much and have a great night.